Coast Wrestling of Louisiana presents Spring in the Ring, live April 28th at the Amelia Recreation Center in Amelia, Louisiana. For more ticket information, call 985-518-0433 or visit our brand new website, gcw-gulfcoastwrestling.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm the Friday Night Renegade, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm Dolph Billy Boudreaux, and this is going to be my Monday Night Raw review for the week of April 16th, 2012. Now, we open up with the WWE Championship match, the no disqualification, no count out stipulation match between CM Punk and Mark Henry. Now a lot of people are saying, and no, I was thinking it too, why not just bill it as an Extreme Rules match? But, you know, if they're going to have a main event on Monday Night Raw where they're advertising it to be an Extreme Rules match, you know, I don't think it would really help the cause if they have more than one Extreme Rules match on one Monday Night Raw. So I can kind of see, you know, the reasoning for them just calling it a no disqualification, no count out match. Now, be that as it may, I still thought it was a really good match between CM Punk and Mark Henry. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you know, they could have Mark Henry doing championship runs, WWE championship runs, you know, runs at the title. But, you know, he could, you know, World Heavyweight Championship, I think it's alright, you know, it's kind of, you know, the secondary World Championship in the WWE, but to have the main championship, the WWE title, you know, even though Mark Henry has been in the company for about 15, 16 years, I don't know, just don't think that it's his time yet to be WWE champion. You know, they have CM Punk and the two having a too good of a push, you know, being the main champion of the WWE, and especially with the storyline he's having with Chris Jericho. I know that, you know, they could still possibly have a really good storyline with Punk and Jericho, but I think it would lose just a little bit of the edge to it if they took the WWE Championship off of CM Punk at this time. It just wouldn't make any sense for them to do that with the heated rivalry between Punk and Jericho right now. So I really didn't think that, you know, they were going to have Punk drop the title to Mark Henry. But still, be that as it may, it was still a really, really good championship match. The finish was absolutely phenomenal. It was a top rope steel chair elbow drop, in a sense. And that's how CM Punk got the win. I thought that was a really good finish. So I'm going to go ahead. You know, it's not very often that I give a match like this, an opening match, a 5 out of 5. But that's the way I'm going to go. That's the route I'm taking. 5 out of 5 for the championship match between CM Punk and Mark Henry. And what I found more interesting than that was Jericho had, you know, he was on the Titantron again, you know, apparently in a bar. And apparently he had some cell phone footage of CM Punk entering a pub there in London. And he entered a pub, then he came back out, and Jericho accused him of drinking. And, you know, Punk responds by, you know, he was just going there to meet a friend, and the only thing he had in there was fish and chips. So they go back and forth, and then we get the announcement that at Extreme Rules it's going to be Chris Jericho taking on CM Punk for the WWE Championship in a Chicago street fight. To me, that sounds really, really promising. You know, their match at WrestleMania was epic in itself, but now we're going to have a Chicago street fight with Jericho and Punk for the WWE Championship. I can only imagine just how good that match is going to come out. So next up, well, throughout the night, apparently R-Truth evolved into Sherlock Truth. And his little cohort, little Jimmy, we've now found out that his last name is Watson. Kind of makes you want to scratch your head, doesn't it? Well, he's saying his mission of the night. Now, R-Truth, apparently, his little spiel was to find a new job for Teddy Long. like I said before, kind of makes you want to scratch your head. It still looks entertaining, but still. Anyway, let's take a look at the next match here. It was for the United States Championship. Santino Marella and David Otunga, and Michael Cole the entire time on commentary was trying to, he was, hyping up David Otunga. Was pumping up his character on commentary, saying that he was going to be the next United States champion, how good he would look with that title belt in the office with John Laurinaitis and whatnot, and yada yada yada. Then next thing you know, Santino Marella turns around, hits the Cobra, and retains the United States Championship. And of course, Michael Cole, being the heel commentator, kind of starts freaking out, saying, "Oh no, this isn't wrong. This is wrong." So I still thought it was a decent match nonetheless. Not spectacular, but not bad either, entertainment-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and go 3.5 out of 5 for Santino Marella and David Otunga. I thought it was good. David Otunga continues to get better ring-wise, in my opinion, but Santino Marella's been in the company a lot longer. It would make more sense because he's got more ring savvy and experience than David Otunga. Then for him to, keep the United States title, and then have David Otunga become champion. David Otunga, yeah, he is getting better, but I just don't think he's ready for any kind of championship gold just yet. Whether it be a secondary title like the United States title or Intercontinental title or a major title. I think he still needs to have some more work, more experience with him. When he starts building more and more into himself, then I believe that he could be ready for a championship title. But as it stands right now, with his position in the company, I just, while he's playing as Laurinaitis' lackey of sorts, I just don't think he's ready. I don't think it's the time to have a title on David Otunga. Then next up, we have a very interesting segment, an interview with Brock Lesnar. For one thing, it was good to see that the WWE is allowing Lesnar to acknowledge his UFC roots. The fact that when he left the WWE after he said he climbed the mountain already. He climbed, he jumped over that hurdle to become the WWE champion, the youngest WWE champion. I think that still stands, if not, the youngest WWE champion. Randy Orton had the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's two totally different things. But anyway. It was good to see that WWE actually allowed him to acknowledge his UFC days and the fact that, he was a UFC champion. I think it's only fair to Lesnar that the WWE allowed him to acknowledge that, because if the WWE wouldn't have allowed Lesnar to acknowledge his days in the UFC to the WWE Universe, to me, that would say that WWE Creative and everyone over there at the WWE is treating we, the fans, like we're stupid. They're like, Lesnar was in the UFC? I didn't know that. No, what the WWE is actually doing the right thing right here by letting Lesnar actually acknowledge the fact that he was in the UFC and the fact that he was a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion. I thought that was a really good move on their part. And now, as far as the storyline goes, what he said, in the interview segment, that if he hadn't left the WWE 8 years ago and went to the UFC, if he would have stayed in the WWE all this time, that Cena would not have the position he has in the company. He wouldn't be the face of the WWE. In fact, he said John Cena would be the guy carrying his bags for him to this day. Now, to be honest with you, I don't agree with that at all. And I think it's just Lesnar, playing up to his ego, playing up to his character. But then again, I've also heard stories that Lesnar and Cena really have some heat with each other backstage. So you never know how much of that is really pouring into this storyline, the actual mutual animosity of sorts, if I can word that correctly, that is going on between Cena and Lesnar. Now, we don't know if that mutual animosity is still as strong as it was 8 years ago, but it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. Like I said, there could be still having some backstage heat between these two guys. You never know, and they could pull that into the storyline. But to actually make the statement that Cena would not have his position in the company that he has today if Lesnar would have never have left the WWE, I think it's an incorrect statement. I don't really believe that statement whatsoever, because Cena had you can tell 8 years ago Cena had a lot of untapped potential, and now he's tapped into it. So to me, it really wouldn't have made a difference if Lesnar would have stayed in the WWE 8 years ago, because I believe that Cena still would have climbed the ranks and tapped into that potential he now uses for the company today. Even if Lesnar was still there, I still honestly believe that Cena would still have the same position he has in the company today. Cena has worked hard to get where he is. Whether you like him or you hate him, Cena, you cannot deny the fact that Cena has worked hard to get his position in the company. He has earned everything that he has gotten in the WWE. He has pulled in a lot of work, not only in the ring, but he's also done a lot of charity work and whatnot. And like I said, he has worked his butt off to earn his position in the company. You guys can, the Cena haters out there, you can go out and say, well, Cena sucks, so why are you even backing him up? Well, first of all, you're a mark for saying that. Now, secondly, you got to acknowledge the fact that Cena has done a lot, and he has worked a lot, not only for the WWE, but for all of the charitable organizations that he works for. He does a lot for the fans and whatnot, and he's also in that Be a Star campaign, although I'm not going to talk too much about that on here. So Cena has worked hard to get where he is in the company. Regardless if Lesnar would have stayed in the company or not, I still believe that with all the hard work that Cena's put in, that Cena would still have the very same position that he has in the company today if Lesnar would have never left the WWE. That's my opinion on it. I could be wrong, but then again, we're all entitled to my opinion. Our opinions, rather. Next up, we were scheduled to have a match between Kane and Zack Ryder, and they hyped up the match a little bit, by going through some of the things that Kane has done to Zack Ryder over the past, with the choke slam on the concrete on the outside, and then when the Ryder was in the wheelchair, Kane throwing him off the stage while he's in his wheelchair. I still watch the landing to this day. How did he not break his ankle? I have no idea. But I say scheduled. For those of you who didn't see it, Kane attacked Ryder before the match even got underway. He kicked him off the ring apron, then brought him back in and chokeslammed him, all in an effort to cut a promo on Randy Orton. Especially what happened on Friday Night SmackDown. Now, I want to go ahead and say this right now. There's a guy here on YouTube. He's a really cool guy. His name is Sean of Sean's View Entertainment. In fact, if you want, I'll put the link to his channel on here. I never told him I would give him a plug or the fact that he needs one. He doesn't need one. He's really good here on YouTube. And but the reason why I bring up Sean of Sean's View Entertainment is that he put up a report yesterday saying that there was some news that Randy Orton got injured, because of what happened on Friday Night SmackDown with him and Kane and Cowboy Bob Orton. Now, I'm not going to discredit Sean in any way, shape, or form. Sean's a really cool guy, and in fact, if you guys want, I highly encourage you guys to check out his channel. He's kind of like me. He's very opinionated when it comes to professional wrestling and other topics, but he's mainly professional wrestling, and he's very opinionated. But the reason why I bring him up is I have searched and searched for any kind of reports or information on a lot of the news sites that I frequent, Wrestling News Source and eWrestling News and WrestleZone. I even looked on NoDQ.com, and I've yet to find an official report stating the injury to Randy Orton. So I'm thinking possibly that the Orton injury could be kayfabed. I am not 100% positive. Not until I can actually confirm some information on whether or not the injury to Orton is legit or if it's kayfabed. So I'm not going to discredit Sean whatsoever. He is entitled to, if he finds some information, he is entitled to put that up on his YouTube channel. Again, by the way, I will put the link to his YouTube channel in the description box below. I highly encourage you guys to check out his channel. He's a really cool guy. He's really got some good videos on there, and he's really got a lot to say. So be sure you guys check him out, and if you do, be sure you tell him that, hey, your buddy Double B over here at youtube.com/WrestleGamer sent him his way. So as far as Kane and Zack Ryder goes, the little attack, 3 out of 5, nothing spectacular and whatnot. So like I said, I believe the whole reason they did that was to start putting a build between Kane and Randy Orton for something they're probably going to do. If the injury isn't legit, if it's kayfabe, possibly at Extreme Rules. Next up we had was backstage, Kofi Kingston was talking to AJ, just innocently talking to AJ. And I'll tell you what, Kofi Kingston got a lot of guts. AJ's pretty smoking hot. I wouldn't have the guts to talk to her. I'll be standing in the corner going, I'll be shaking, man. I'll be nervous. I'll be honest with you. I'll be nervous. But Kofi Kingston was talking to AJ, and then Daniel Bryan comes up from behind and starts cutting a promo, kind of looking like the green eye of jealousy veering from the former World Heavyweight Champion. But then he makes the announcement that he's renamed the LaBelle Lock, and I don't think he should have cut down Gene LaBelle at all, because Gene LaBelle was fantastic in his day. For those of you who don't know, be sure you check him out. They probably have some stuff with Gene LaBelle here on YouTube. You never know. But he's renamed LaBelle Lock to the Yes Lock. And I'll tell you what, this Yes gimmick that they've got Daniel Bryan on is really getting over on the crowd. It's really getting over on the WWE Universe. Who knows? You may even see yours truly, Double B, Billy Boudreaux, order a Yes t-shirt. You never know. And if I do, I'll be sure to have an unbagging of it here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer for you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys would want to see me wearing that big red t-shirt with the words, yes, 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 yes. Alright, enough with that. Daniel Bryan is not here. It's me. Next up, following that, we had the interview segment with John Cena, or the promo with John Cena, I should say. With Cena's response to a few of the things that Lesnar had to say in the interview segment. For putting up the match so quickly at Extreme Rules, I really got to figure that they're not going to cultivate this feud at Extreme Rules. They're going to have it possibly, like I said before, I think possibly on last week's Raw review, that they're probably going to be going with this feud possibly all the way to SummerSlam. Because it would make sense to have the feud cultivate at a major pay-per-view. But then again, I also thought the Punk and Jericho feud was going to cultivate at WrestleMania, which is the major pay-per-view for the WWE of the year. And they're still going forward with the feud. And they're also doing the same with Kane and Randy Orton as well. So, shows you how much I know. But then we had Laurinaitis come out and said that basically, to get Cena ready and get him prepared, that he was going to be putting him in an Extreme Rules match tonight, but against an unnamed opponent. So, very interesting to see where that's going to go. There are a lot of rumors as to who that opponent was going to be, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on them when we get to that point in the show. As far as the segment goes, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Cena was trying to do his best to fire up the crowd, especially when the crowd was doing that yes, 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 yes chants. So, 4 out of 5. I'll give it to John Cena. He was really working hard. Now, I'm going to talk about two guys who are really working hard. I'm talking about Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. They put up a really fantastic match on Monday Night Raw. I thought it was phenomenal. They did a lot of great spots, especially I kind of thought the flying crossbody from Kofi Kingston to Daniel Bryan over the top rope to the outside. I went back and, it didn't miss, although on first glance, it kind of looked like it did. And Kofi Kingston can really pull off that high-flying aerial stuff really, really well. You got to give it to him. But Daniel Bryan, he held his own in the match. He made it really, really good. And the thing they're still playing up is AJ still wants to be with Daniel Bryan. That's what they were trying to play during the match. But I really got to give it to both guys. I thought it was a phenomenal match. Daniel Bryan gets the win with the yes, yes, yes lock. And, of course, that's what Michael Cole said. Will Kofi Kingston tag? Yes, yes, yes. I don't know how many times I've said the word yes. I wonder if you guys can keep count and actually tell me how many times I've said yes, 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 yes. So, I'm going to go ahead and give the match a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was that good. I thought it was that entertaining for a match with hardly any build to it. Well, I'll say hardly any build, but they did some stuff backstage. But I thought it was really, really good. Phenomenal match. Both guys were at the top of their game on Monday Night Raw. So I got to give it to them. I have to give it to them. 4.5 out of 5. Next up, we have Brodus Clay and Dolph Ziggler. Now, for once, I'm glad that they did not put Brodus, the Funkasaurus, in a squash match. I figured, we've had enough of the squash matches with Brodus Clay, and for what it looks like, they paired him against, Dolph Ziggler. And what it looks like they're trying to do here is it looks like they're trying to build up a storyline, a feud of sorts, between Brodus Clay and Vicky Guerrero's faction. Now, I know they've never really acknowledged it, but what I call them is American Perfection. But that's what it is for, Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. Now, from the way this feud looks right now, guys, it looks like it has potential. It really does. One can only see where they're going to go from here. Now, possibly... Now, again, I don't have any spoilers. This is just based on assumption that we could be possibly looking at Brodus Clay and Jack Swagger on Friday Night SmackDown. You never know. If they really want to go ahead with this feud, that would make sense to have Swagger and Brodus Clay go at it on Friday Night SmackDown to try to, a continuation of the feud. It would make sense. But as far as this match goes, it looked like they're not only going to have Brodus Clay and American Perfection involved in the feud, but they're also going to involve Brutuss Dancers, Naomi, and I'm sorry, they're that hot. I can't really remember their names that much. I know it's Naomi and Campbell. I think if I'm wrong, please guys correct me in the description. I'm sorry, in the comment section below. I don't have the actual information. I should have wrote down their names, but I did not. But no one can deny that they are hot. But it looks like they're going to involve Brutuss Dancers feuding with Vicky Guerrero as part of the whole thing, the whole storyline as well. That's what it looked like. That's what it looks like to me. But they didn't really do very much in this match. It was like over in about less than 2 minutes. Brodus gets the win via disqualification due to interference from Jack Swagger. So 3 out of 5 in my opinion. But I want to see where they're going to take this feud next. Because like I said, it has potential. It all depends on how WWE can actually execute this storyline next. So I'm assuming that possibly we're going to see Swagger versus Brodus Clay on Friday Night SmackDown. It would make sense for them to do that. Will they do it? Who knows? I don't. So next up we have I'm going to say this right now because R-Truth claims that he found a job for Teddy Long, being the general manager of Friday Night SmackDown. I'm scratching my head again. That's all I'm going to say about that. Then next up we have a non-title tag team match. Well, I say non-title because the tag team champions were in action. It was Epico and Primo against quite possibly the largest tag team, I believe, in wrestling history. I'm talking about the Intercontinental Champion, the 7'1", 500-pound Big Show, and teaming up with the 7'4", 445-pound Great Khali. Now, I know the Twin Towers in the form of the Big Boss Man and Akeem, they were a really huge tag team, if I can remember correctly, somewhere around the range of close to 800 to 900 pounds of a total body weight. But I kind of think that if you want to have a reincarnation of the Twin Towers, the Big Show and the Great Khali would be your tag team. Either in reincarnation of the Twin Towers or the reincarnation of the Skyscrapers. Those of you who remember the Skyscrapers, Dangerous Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious, and at one time Mean Mark Callis, who would later go on to be known as The Undertaker. But, this is, if they are not considered the world's largest tag team, they are right there. Both men, well over 7 feet, both men close to that 500-pound range. So you gotta figure that if they're not the largest tag team in wrestling history, they gotta be very, very close to whoever holds it, whether it be the Twin Towers. I don't think the Skyscrapers could be considered the largest tag team, but the Twin Towers are a very huge team in their own right. So, but it's kind of wasn't hard to see where they were going to go with this. They had Big Show and the Great Khali actually go over on Epico and Primo, and whether or not they can, you can go, whether or not they can, they're going to, push them for a tag team championship with Big Show and the Great Khali. It still, it still remains to be seen. However, it's really good to actually see them actually involving the tag team championship, because the WWE really hasn't done anything as of late with tag teams in the WWE. So it's actually good to see that. Now, if they put the tag team titles in Big Show and Epico, I'd like to see who the hell they're going to put together to take the titles off of them. If they actually do go that route. But anyway, 4 out of 5 for the tag match, just because I got a chance to see Rosa Mendez. And next up, we had the Extreme Rules match. It was John Cena, and his opponent is Lord Tensai. Now, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to say it too much because I've already made my feelings very well known on the Lord Tensai gimmick. It was a gimmick that's not really new, but new in a sense. Basically, Prince Albert repackaged as a new character. The only new moves we've seen, or basically we saw out of him tonight, was the fact that he did the Great Muda's Mist. He misted John Cena in the eyes, and did the Derailer, the two-handed choke slam into a powerbomb. Other than that, it's nothing new out of Lord Tensai. I don't know how long I'm going to have to keep saying this for people to actually start believing what I'm saying, but I want to make mention of this because I told Studley Man Ashley, via Skype last night while I was waiting in the ER with my twin sister. By the way, she's okay. Don't worry about it, guys. But what I told him was I had to make mention of this in my Raw review. Is at one point, we all know the traditional Cena chant that some of the fans have out there nowadays. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Well, they actually, kind of invented a new chant on Monday Night Raw for Tensai. Let's go Albert, Albert sucks. Oh man, fans, especially the London fans, woo, top notch. But Tensai went over on John Cena. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Because he's just now come back into the WWE, and not only was he in a main event on Monday Night Raw, he's had like 2 or 3 squash matches. And then next thing you know, he's in a main event, an Extreme Rules match with possibly the top guy in the company right now, John Cena. And you had him go over on the top guy of the company. So, if they do this and then they have Tensai going back to doing squash matches for the time being until they figure out what to finally use him for, I for one will be disappointed. I will be disappointed because that's a total misuse of the gimmick, even though it's not really anything new. But it's good to see him, actually back in the company and doing something. So they really, next week if he's back doing squash matches on Monday Night Raw, like I said, it would be just a total waste of his talent. Although his talent isn't anything new, but it's still a total waste of his talent. But the matchup was still really good, really exciting for an Extreme Rules match nowadays in WWE PG era. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. One thing I need to mention, too, is the fact that, after the Mist, and after the match was over, Cena was actually hollering for some water. He needed some water to rinse out his eyes because he couldn't see. Now I don't know if that was kayfabe or legit. I don't think they would actually let Tensai actually spit some actually toxic stuff into his eyes that would really blind him. So I'm kind of thinking that possibly that could be like kayfabe or something like that. But that's my opinion on it. So what I want to know is what I want to know, if I can talk today, is what are your feelings, the WGS-TV viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below on it. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Also, be sure you check out Sean's View Entertainment. I'll have the link up in the description box for you guys to check out. And don't forget to like and favorite this video. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So with that being said, I'm Double B Billy Bujo saying thank you very much for watching.